Hey y'all, welcome to Nails in the Coffin. My name's Lan, and this is where I talk true crime, ghost stories, and urban legends, and do some nail art. This week I'm doing like the most basic of urban legends. I'm doing Bigfoot. I just sat down and was like, I'm just gonna doodle on some nails and see what pops out. And turns out it's Bigfoot that popped out. Also, it's inspired because I'm a part of the TGOG, Two Girls One Ghost community. Shout out to Sabrina and Corinne. Corinne's really into Bigfoot. And one of the other lovely community members was like, you should paint some Bigfoot nails for Corinne. And I was like, there's no way I can do that. It's not going to come out right. It's going to be so weird. But turns out it's pretty fucking, I'm genuinely proud of myself on these. I'm just. So, while y'all watch me paint these Bigfoot nails, I'm going to be talking about the legend. And it's kind of disappointing when you really get into it, because everything ends and this is a hoax. It's just some dude that was bored and carved some wooden feet and stomped them in some mud, or dressed up in, a big hairy suit or whatever. Which is really disappointing. Kind of takes the mystery out of it. But what I was really into was that in what I read is that pretty much on every continent there is a legend of either a Yeti, a Bigfoot, Sasquatch. There's some sort of legend related to to Bigfoot, except for on Antarctica. And my guess is because nobody lives there to witness the abominable snowman. So it's the deeper I got, the more I was like, oh, okay, I'm getting into this, because it's actually deeply tied to the oral traditions and legends of different indigenous tribes. And that's pretty cool. Once I curated all these and kind of was reading through them, I was like, this kind of seems to me kind of like the whole La Llorona thing of, is she real? Is she not? It kind of seems to me like they're stories that were made up a long, long time ago to get your children to act right. For La Llorona, it's don't go near the river because she's going to snatch you. Don't be playing too close because you'll fall in and she's going to snatch you. And this is don't go out at night whistling, or screaming, or, just don't go out at night. And you're good, because if you go out, Bigfoot or the wild man or a Yeti or a Sasquatch is going to come and snatch you. So here's a couple of the legends that I came into. So the Bigfoot that we know is a mysterious humanoid creature that's unusually tall, 7 to 10 feet tall, covered in hair, reeks to high heaven, and is said to communicate through screams and whistles, specifically at night, which is fucking terrifying. But according to different indigenous legends, they're known as wild men. And in one article I read from Auburn, Washington, a Suquamish elder named Ellen George said that her grandmother was a small girl living at the mouth of the Duwamish River when wild men entered their home one night to steal her fish. One family caught one and kept him. He used to go hunting, and in a short time he would come back with a deer in its neck, with its neck broken, even though he didn't have any weapons. And the people kept him for a while, and then they let him go. And after that, they would find a deer or two with broken necks lying on their front door in the morning, kind of like cat brings you a mouse because it thinks you're hungry. Maybe the wild man just thought they were hungry. Then they would hang dried fish outside, and the wild man would take it at night. So after that, they never had to worry about the wild men coming back to rob them. So, if they really caught one and was that's so sweet they let him go, because to be frank, there's another legend near near Lake Jackson in Jackson County, Florida, the wild man of Ocheesee Pond. It's said that they had a wild man roaming their swamps back in 1884, And this wild man was just roaming around, eating berries. You know, I said it was like pretty nonviolent, kept to himself, really shy. I mean, Bigfoot's like shy. If Bigfoot's real, he's really shy, and we should just let him alone. Like, seriously, just stop. Stop getting weird, people. But so there was this wild man roaming around the swamp, just eating berries, minding his own damn business. And what do men do? They assemble with guns and boats, and they go and to hunt him down. Like, literally. Why do we got to hunt him down? That's so rude. So I'm totally in favor of this. Not that, you know, they need my approval, but that's so nice that this indigenous family was like, oh, we're just going to let you go. And he returned that kindness by leaving them deer on their doorstep. That's so cute. I never thought I'd say that about Bigfoot. Okay, so there's another legend of Zunokwa, which is a forest giant who lives on Vancouver Island and is covered in dark hair, and it's a woman. She speaks in a quavering voice through pursed lips. What? Like, I'm wondering, like quavering voice, is that like crying? That's terrifying. But she comes and she basically snatches children. So the children are told, don't go wandering outside, especially at night, or you could get snatched by this creature and she might cook you, eat you, or just keep you. Like, if you're cute, she's going to keep you and raise you as her own. There's, of course, the legend of Sasquatch. The Muckleshoot tribal members, they do not speak a word about Sasquatch because they say doing so would draw one to you. It says that they're human-like, covered in fur and over 7 feet tall with 20-inch long footprints. And they can render humans unconscious with just one touch and are known to steal dried fish and women. Which, I mean, okay, yeah. That's like kind of terrifying. They also, number one rule, don't whistle at night because that's how they communicate. Oh my God. Can you imagine if you're just out, going to go pick the laundry off the line and you're just like whistling while you work and then a whistle answers back. That would be terrifying. There's also the legend of Slapu, also in Auburn, Washington. Slapu is a hairy ogress that is also called Snail Woman, and she too is a stealer of children. So that's kind of what tells me is like some of these legends are just like, all right, children, we're going to stay inside at night, not going out. So those are kind of just those are the legends that I found that were deeply tied to, you know, different indigenous tribes and, you know, indigenous legends, which I think are just really cool because they've been around way longer than, like, we don't know shit, you know? So all in all, I was kind of disappointed to just like read all of this stuff. And it was basically, let me talk about the hoax. If you're not familiar with the hoax, it's dumb. I don't even know why I'm saying it, but I'm just, for those that want to hear the original hoax, here it is. So on August 27th, 1958, a bulldozer operator for a Northern California logging company made a discovery of some feet smushed into the mud. As he was clearing away the brush and stumps, he found it. And it's like 300 miles north of San Francisco. So he relayed his findings to the media and they went wild. I don't know if this is like connected to that like original Bigfoot photo, you know, of him like walking along the logs. Could be. Basically, one of Crew's co-workers, Ray Wallace, died at 84 in 2002. And on his deathbed, he told his children, yeah, no, we were just joking. We carved some like wooden feet with all the wood we were surrounded by and like smushed them in the mud and like made up the story. So, you see what I mean? That's like really fucking disappointing, you know? Like Ray had to live with that for a long time. Oh, man. The closest I ever got to seeing Bigfoot, which is not really even a thing. I love to camp. My dad, shout out to my dad, brought us up like continually going out into the wilderness. And the harder I've gotten into like true crime and urban legends and stuff, I'm like, I love camping and I'm still going to do it, but I'm also like really freaking terrified. So there was this one time that we were backpacking. We were on a 7-day kayak trip down the Pecos River. We like pulled over and set up camp for the night. And you're like right by the river. It's like nice. Also, at the time, I was really afraid that my dad had rabies. And he had gotten tested for rabies before we left and wouldn't have gotten the test results back. So I was like waiting for him to for some reason in my mind, I was like, he's going to turn into a total zombie. Like that. And that's not a thing. Rabies does not make you a zombie. But my, young self was like, yep, my dad's going to be a zombie. So one night we are camping and, we're all up in our tent, ready to go to bed. And we hear rustling in there were these trees right outside of our tent. And we heard intense rustling and high up in the trees. I was fucking terrified. I literally was like, we're in the goddamn wilderness. We're going to get murdered by Bigfoot. This is it. This is our time. I'm not even going to die because my dad had rabies. I'm going to die for Bigfoot. And my dad, so brave. I've never seen him scared, but if he was scared, he did not let on. But he was just like, what is that? And we were talking about it. And we're it's really high up. There's no way that that's anything an animal or anything because it's so much higher than a human. Well, we get up in the morning. Turns out there's an entire herd of sheep just hanging out right next to our camp. And they had just been eating the leaves off of this tree. And for me, I think it was maybe because we were so terrified, we, we're imagining that this noise was coming up from a lot higher than it actually was. But it wasn't. And it was just sheep. So all that being said is, it could just be sheep, not Bigfoot. Okay, so what did we learn? Did we learn anything about this? Don't go at night. Don't go out at night. Just don't, don't go to the club, don't go to the bars, don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere at night. Sun goes down, shut up your doors, shut up your windows, call it a night. Don't whistle. Don't you fucking whistle, especially at night. Whistling and screaming. I mean, scream if you have to, by all means, but just whistling at night. Now I'm going to be so terrified to just be on my back patio and make any kind of noise and then it come back at me. I don't even live in the forest, but the more I research this stuff, the more I get scared of the dark. Oh my gosh. And yeah, I guess stay out of the forest. I feel that's a very universal. I listen to all the true crime, spooky podcasts, and their number one rule is stay out of the fucking forest. And I can relate to that. I feel the last time I went camping, I almost got ran over by drunk teenagers. And it was really terrifying. And I have not been camping in the wilderness since. The wilderness is terrifying, but it's so fun. I just love camping. But yeah, I mean, I guess stay out of the forest, the dense forest, or at least tell people where you're going, right? No, don't go anywhere without letting someone know in case Bigfoot's out there watching you. Damn, these nails look so fucking good. Look at Bigfoot going after that tent. Well, that's been the nails in the coffin, y'all. Hope you've enjoyed this. Sorry I just rambled about my life for a while. To just, make up for the fact that Bigfoot was not as creepy as I thought it would be. Yeah, follow me on all of the socials. Email me, spooky stuff. I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.